I'm Jake, and I live and breathe numbers. And here's a number that might interest you. 1 million. I'm talking dollars here. So, what would you do for $1 million?
You may now kiss the bride.
Would you marry someone 50 years older than you? Would you get a face tattoo? Rob a bank? So what would you do? How about tapping into your IQ? Training your emotions to maximize your earning potential? Or turning your everyday activities into money-making ones? Sound like a better $1 million formula than this? If you want to make it yours, don't change the channel. Obviously, money can drive people to do some crazy things. And it would be amazing to become an instant millionaire. But what are the odds of that really happening? The odds of winning the lottery are only 1 in 176 million. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's probably not gonna happen to you. But what are the chances of being born a millionaire? A recent survey showed that 14% of millionaires say they were born rich. Not say they were born 100% lucky. But what about the rest of us who aren't so fortunate? Is there anything that indicates whether we'll become rich? 616. It's one of the keys to our $1 million formula, and it could make you rich. But to find out what it means, we're gonna have to hit the streets. We headed out to see if people could figure out the answer to this visual game. Looking at the sequence of symbols, can you figure out what the next symbol in the sequence is? We're going to show it to you for 8 seconds, and we'll see how you stack up to everyone else.
All got.
How much time do I have? This is impossible. How am I supposed to know these things?
Have you figured out the answer? Here's a hint. Mirror, mirror.
It's hard.
Okay, I give up.
I see some 1s, I see a 2, 3s, I see some 4s.
I give up. I don't know.
Yeah, we got it?
Yeah, got it.
That's how we roll, baby.
Did you get it? Each symbol in the sequence is a number connected to the mirror image of itself, starting with 1. So what was the point of that game, aside from being totally awesome? Well, your ability to think through problems like these could be an indication of high intelligence, the kind of thing measured by IQ. A recent study showed that your intelligence quotient, or IQ, could affect your overall income. So how does that 616 number tie into IQ? Well, one study found the value of each additional IQ point above the average of 100 to be worth between $202 and $616 per year. That means the difference between an average IQ of 100 and a highly intelligent IQ of 130 would mean the difference between $6,000 and $18,500 in annual income. With that kind of money, you'll feel like the richest 1% in the world. But feeling and actually being are two very different things. Which got me thinking, are there other parts of our biology that are linked to money? What about Bill Gates' appearance could spell success? A study of male business executives found that companies ran by wider, more round-faced CEOs performed 10% better than those with narrower faces. Why? Previous studies have correlated men with wide faces with higher testosterone levels, which may lead to a greater sense of power. And what about ScarJo? What physical asset might make her one of Hollywood's highest-paid actresses? It may not have been what you thought. One study of American females found that blonde women statistically make more money than brunettes or redheads. What about height? Not only does it help athletes soar over the competition, it's also connected to higher earnings in the business world. According to one study, only 14% of U.S. men are taller than 6 feet. But among CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, that figure was estimated at 58%. This may be because there's an unconscious perception that tall people fit our idea of what a great leader looks like. Like many of you, I only have one of those millionaire traits, my blonde hair. Let's look back at our $1 million formula. Right now, we have 2 pieces of our equation. Physical traits that we're born with, and our brain. Now, remember when I said that an increase in IQ could mean an increase in your paycheck? Well, it turns out there's another part of our brain that's associated with making even more money. Want to learn more about this mysterious part of our million-dollar brain? It's called EQ, or emotional quotient. While still an emerging field, when boiled down, it means how well you understand the emotions of yourself and others. We set up hidden cameras at an impound lot to see how your EQ stacks up to hers. That's Denise, and she's responsible for working the window. How she handles unruly customers could be the key to her financial future.
Hello? Hey, you have my car, evidently?
Well, what is your name?
Chase.
Okay, and what kind of car do you have?
It's a BMW 745i.
Okay, I do believe that we have that.
Why?
You parked in a street sweeping zone, sir, it looks like, so it'll be $350.
Just give me my car so I can get out of here.
I cannot give you the car.
Give me my car! Just give it to me.
So tell us a little bit about EQ.
The idea here is that all of our behavior is driven by emotions. And people who are able to understand and manage that more effectively are the same people who earn more money, who do better in life.
Really? So EQ has actually been tied to financial success then?
Absolutely.
How do you think Denise did in terms of EQ in this situation?
The thing that Denise does well is she stays calm.
So staying calm in the face of pressure is a sign of high EQ then?
Yeah, especially with someone who's as explosive as this gentleman is.
Is there anything that she could have done better? Any place that she could have shown more EQ?
Yes, there's one thing that keeps her from being an EQ superstar.
Okay.
And that is validating his emotion.
Oh.
So all she needs to do to validate his emotion is say, sir, I understand you're upset. When you validate an emotion, when you speak to it, it calms people down.
That would have made my high school experience so much better.
Yeah.
I know why you want to stuff me in a locker, and I know where you're coming from, but let's talk this out. I'm sure that would have worked great.
Hi.
Now, what about this woman?
I just ran in there for a second.
Can I help you?
Yes, I'm picking up a car.
And what's your name?
I know, I was just picking up a coffee for my boss.
I need your name to get your car.
My name's Stacy.
Okay. And you have the Honda Accord?
Yeah, the silver Honda Accord.
Okay, we have it. It's going to be $350.
Yeah, I told you. I'm coming right now.
And ma'am, there are other customers waiting, so... Are your cars? Okay, well, ma'am, I can't do my job without you cooperating.
Is there a manager that I can speak with? Because
The manager is not available right now, but I can answer any questions you have. I can...
But you're not being very helpful because I'm not paying $350.
I mean, is there any other issue? It's just you can't make payment, or I don't really understand what the issue is.
The issue is I don't have the money.
So how did Denise do with annoying cell phone girl? How was her EQ in that situation?
This was an above-average performance. Her approach is to wait it out.
Sure, just wait out the storm.
Right, you're not going to get the girl off the phone.
So it seems like Denise handled it pretty well then.
She did pretty well.
Pretty good, awesome.
Have a good day.
So we now see that EQ is an important part of our million-dollar formula. According to Dr. Bradbury, every additional EQ point that you possess could add up to $1,300 per year to your paycheck, or up to $28,000 annually for those highly gifted in EQ. So how does EQ stack up to IQ? With that in mind, I'm ready to go see if I can read money on people's faces. Observing people's facial cues is another great way of reading people's emotions and building EQ. Dr. Bradbury helped me figure out what these people were thinking. Can you? What is this person feeling? Happy? Sad? Nervous? The answer? Happy. What about this guy? Is his expression scared, confused, or angry? The answer? Angry. Now let's go from watching people in the crowd to hearing from them. The question? What would you do for $1 million?
For $1 million, what would I do?
I would fight a baby lion. Just wear shorts and go into a pool full of snakes.
I would do yoga 3 days straight for $1 million.
Jumping off a building with just a parachute, no matter how high it was.
Look at the rail of a New York subway.
Dance naked in the street for $1 million.
I mean, I'll sell her if I could for $1 million. Yeah.
Those are some pretty crazy things that people would do for $1 million. So what have we learned thus far? We've seen that intelligence quotient and emotional quotient are key factors